But to finish up this hour, Chris, I thought maybe we could have a conversation around the links that have started coming up today for Firmino to move this summer away from the club. Now, again, on this, I've got nothing to add to the conversation. I don't know anything. The latest link, and I think it was from the Mirror, if I remember you saying it on Mundo correctly, was the £20 million move to Juventus. What I would say is, before we get into this, and people start saying, no, can't sell it this summer. If you're trying to put together a pot of money for a certain player and these opportunities present themselves, as much as I think Firmino will have a role this season, and this is the one that's going to make me sad when he goes 20 million on the table from Juventus. If that was the case, you'd have to listen to it. You'd have to ask Bobby what he wants.
I think that's it, mate. I think that's it, right? Because if Bobby Firmino wants to stay for another season, keep him. Like there's no reason to sell him. And the only reason is, as you said earlier, Liverpool will have a price if it does come in for Roberto Firmino. And to be honest, I don't think it would be far off 20 million, maybe 25, maybe 30. If we're selling Mane for 40, then I think 20 is fair for Firmino. He's not really hit the heights this season because of injury and because of just not having the same amount of football. He has declined, and we'd be foolish to say that he hasn't. And the fact that he would be going on a free next summer as well. That's another reason why Liverpool might. But to be honest, it's one of those, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I wouldn't say it would be a bad deal for us, and I wouldn't say it would be a good deal for us. It's sort of in the middle.
Yeah, the only way I can make sense of it is if it's an offer maybe that surprised Liverpool because they thought Bobby was going to see out his deal. If maybe Firmino says to them, I wouldn't mind it. But also, he's on, I think, Chris, 160, 180 grand a week at Liverpool, which is 8 or 9 million quid in a year. On top of a transfer fee, you could potentially, if you got 25 million for Bobby, then be saving yourself 30 to 35 million quid, which would go quite a long way towards a certain young fella from the neck of the woods of Birmingham.
It's whether they're putting all the eggs in that basket and whether they think that Nunes and Carvalho will provide enough cover for Firmino and Mane, and whether they can provide as much. Obviously, they're not as experienced, but it's pure replacements. And if it goes to the Bellingham Fund, I'm sure all of us wouldn't be averse to it. But again, as I said, like, it doesn't really matter to me, if I'm being honest, whether he stays or goes. Like, he's going to have a good role this season, but he's not indispensable.
I'm going to be so sad when the day comes, whatever the day is, and I hope it's next summer, because I think Bobby has something to contribute this season. I think he's going to be very helpful to Fabio Carvalho. I think if we change systems, I think he could actually, be quite important in the link-up play. He's probably still got the best first touch of any player at the football club, maybe Salah aside, and Bobby can do things that other people just can't do. And yeah, he's infuriating at times, and yeah, he can miss-hit a 5-yard pass, but that's part of the charm of Bobby Firmino.
Exactly. He's such a lovable character, such a lovable player. You don't see much. He's very, very unique as well. Like, I can't think of many players like Bobby Firmino in the way that he plays. I can't say he reminds me of X player or he reminds me of that. He doesn't really remind me of anyone. He is one on his own, which is, like, again, you said, part of the charm. And he'll be missed whenever he does go. But if Liverpool are in the position where the money comes, then the money comes.
Some big-ass numbers potentially being freed up, though. There's a 10 available now. There will be a 7 next summer when James Milner moves on, if he does move on. And then potentially Bobby's 9 as well.
Nunes is getting that 9, though, isn't he? Nunes is definitely getting that number 9.
We'll see how the season goes.
He is anyway. He's getting it. He would have had it, I think, if it wasn't for the fact that the Bobby's still there. It's out of respect, isn't it?
Si Senor is probably one of my favorite player songs that we've ever had to sing or to just hear even.
Mate, the best one was against Arsenal in that 5-1 in 2018. And it was going right from Bobby got substituted off, I think. And it was going for about 10 minutes. Amazing. Honestly, it's so catchy. It's love. I wasn't sure about it when I first heard it. I was like, what on earth is this? And no, it's come to be one of the most iconic chants in our club's recent history.
Yeah, if you hear the Brazilian version of it, or
Argentinian.
River Plate. It's Argentinian actually. It's Argentinian actually, I think.